As promised, I wanted to provide a brief walkthrough of assignment number one. I won't be doing this for the other assignments, but this one, because of the source that you will be using, is just a little bit complicated. The assignment is about the 1619 project. The 1619 project was published by the New York Times Magazine 6 years ago in 2019. It marked the 400-year commemoration of when the first enslaved Africans were brought to this country, were brought to, at that point, the British North American colonies, soon to become the United States of America. And the 1619 Project has a very simple thesis. It contends that if you want to truly understand American history, our founding, our development over the years, why we are where we are right now, you have to understand the history of American slavery. That slavery is at the core of what this country was and is. That it still affects so many different aspects of American life still today. Now, that proved to be very controversial, and there was a great deal of backlash to the 1619 Project. This is what your assignment is about. It's about understanding what the 1619 Project was and why it provoked so much backlash. And so you'll be looking at the 1619 Project, and you'll be answering 3 questions about it. I'm going to go through the questions first, and then I'll go over how you can access the material itself. The first question is, what is the central argument that the 1619 Project makes about the role of slavery in the founding and development of the United States of America? Well, if you've been listening the past 2 minutes, I kind of ran through it already. But the 1619 Project, will kind of make that more and more clear. Question number 2, provide 2 specific examples provided by the 1619 Project on how slavery has affected the continued development of the United States. For each example, make sure that you note the author of that particular essay and summarize its major points. Your discussion should demonstrate how, according to the author, the impact of slavery is still evident in America today. So make sure you make clear how slavery's impact is still very much with us today. And number 3, what criticisms have Republicans, and I'm not on a political soapbox here, but the backlash, the criticism that the 1619 Project got was entirely from Republicans. So, what criticisms have Republican politicians made of the 1619 Project? Highlight the criticisms made by at least 2 prominent political figures. For this question, you must also include a source or citation on where you found that information, because that particular information is not in the 1619 Project itself. You'll have to do some very, very light research. I mean, for real, just Google 1619 criticism. You're going to find no shortage of places where to get that information. Keep in mind, however, that the source that you cite has to be academically appropriate. No Wikipedia, no social media post, no Reddit or Quora or anything like that. It has to be from a news source, a newspaper. It has to be from someplace credible, where we can be sure that the information that you will be provided with is is good, legitimate, fact-checked information. And if you have any questions on whether the source you are using is credible and is appropriate, just ask me in an email and I'll let you know. All right, so how do you access the 1619 project? There are 3 ways of doing it. The one that I think most of you will probably use is the free podcast. There is a 5-part podcast on the 1619 project. It is available for free on Spotify, and I imagine it is available on other podcast platforms as well. And it provides you with all the information that is provided by the traditional published version of the 1619 project. But of course, it provides all the advantages in terms of freedom of, mobility and being able to listen to it, in your car or when you're running errands, other things like that. The published version might not do. And it's free. There is also a 5-part miniseries is available on Hulu. Now, obviously, in this case, you have to have a subscription to Hulu. So that might not be something that all of you have. So, that's the shortcoming with that particular approach. But if you have Hulu, and you learn better through watching than you do from reading or listening, you can avail yourself of that as well. Of course, it was also published. Now, it's not going to be readily available for you online because the New York Times Magazine is a business and it's going to require a subscription to access all its material. However, I had a friend that had a subscription and they provided people who had a subscription with a PDF. That friend provided me with a PDF. I provide you with a PDF. You can see it is linked there. And when you open it up, this is what it looked like. Now, this is how it appeared exactly in print. It's just a little bit awkward, though, because as you can see here, there are advertisements that you have to scroll through. And then for the first few pages anyway, because this was something that was published in the magazine, it's a little bit awkward reading from page to page. But once you get through those first few pages, it provides you with all the essays and all the artwork and other material that the 1619 project consisted of, table of contents and stuff like that. But once you get to page 14, you have the essays that the 1619 project consists of. Now, as you can see here, it's 100 pages in all. I'm not asking you to read all 100 pages. I'm just asking you to read 2 or 3 of the essays. So, for instance, on page 30, you have the beginning of an essay on how slavery impacted and continues to impact the economic system in this country, and how even today the economic inequality that our country has is very much linked to the history of slavery. And you can read through it, and it's very easy and very accessible. On page 60, there is an essay on the impact that African Americans have had on American popular culture, in this case, music, and how that is likewise kind of linked to the development of those art forms under slavery. And Then I'll just show you one more here, apologizing for the background noise there. It's my wife and my kid talking. No, I don't know if you can hear it, but okay. So on page 80, oh, that's not it. What page is it on? There it is. Yeah, on page 80, there is an essay about how the criminal justice system in this country and the mass incarceration of black men specifically, and how our criminal justice system has been shaped by slavery, how it goes all the way back to how black men and black women were controlled and criminalized during slavery and in the years after. There are other essays as well. There are essays on how slavery has shaped our healthcare system in this country and all the inequalities that exist there. An essay on slavery and how it has affected residential segregation down to this very day. There's a lot of really good, thought provoking stuff. And if you are somebody who learns best by reading, this is the way to go. But whether you prefer reading or listening or watching, these three ways to access the 1619 Project are available to you. You choose which you prefer. They all have the information that will be needed to answer the first two questions in this assignment. So I just wanted to make sure you were kind of clear on that and how to access that material. If you have any further questions, just let me know.